Hey there, my lovelies. Long time no speak. Haven't been on for a while. Been a bit busy and other bits and pieces kind of keeping me tied up. But I thought I'd jump on here. Quite a few things to kind of discuss, but I won't go into loads of detail. Otherwise, this video will go on far too long. As I said, hope you're all well. A couple of major things have happened recently that I just want to kind of talk about. A couple of light-hearted ones, a couple of kind of like serious things. Let's start off with the most recent thing that's happened. Matt Hancock. Everyone basically baying for his blood. He should be sacked, but he's resigned anyway. He should be stripped of being an MP. He should be fucking hung, drawn and quartered. He should be hung from the nearest lamppost. We should put his head on a spike outside Downing Street. Everyone, calm the hell down. We're not in the dark ages with witch hunts and witch trials. The man wrongly had a liaison with someone he was working with, and CCTV footage inside Downing Street called them having a bit of a snog in a hallway. So everyone's now up in arms going, this was the man that told us that we all had to kind of stay indoors and not go out. Bearing in mind this happened when we weren't in the most strictest of lockdowns. The guy came out and gave us guidance that the government gave us. Let's put this in a bit of perspective. If you're one of these people that thinks that what he's done is a slap in the face for everyone that's unfortunately died during this pandemic, and he's one of the causes of the problem, you need to back up and think about what you're saying. There's a reason why we're in the state that we're in now. Not state, but there's a reason why we haven't moved on as well as we should have done. And it isn't just one man having a snog in a corridor that's caused this. It's thousands, maybe millions of people unable to follow basic guidelines. It's people that are deciding that they're in a country that's now got COVID and they all want to fly back to this country and bring it with them. That's why we're in the fucking mess we're in now. Not because some guys had a fumble in a hallway in Downing Street. I know a lot of people don't like the guy. I know a lot of people have been jumping on social media. A lot of the press have given him a real kicking. It's absolutely hypocritical that Sky TV are absolutely digging this guy out when 6 of their own broadcasters that have been having a pop at people for breaking guidelines and giving the government loads of grief about not doing this and not doing that and not doing enough to shut it down. People like Beth Rigby and people like that. Kay Burley. And then when it's Kay Burley's birthday, when we were in the more stricter lockdown, her and all her buddies from Sky illegally went into a restaurant, got pissed up when there weren't there to be any gatherings of any kind. All of them were suspended from their duty, but they're now all back broadcasting again, talking shit, criticising people after what they've done. Not one of these people from Sky TV has resigned from their post. Now, you can't say to one person, that guy should be sacked, that guy should resign, and then other people completely ignore what they've done. The press have a sense of responsibility and they do have power, and they are following the same guidelines that we are. They are not exempt. So you can't let them take a pop at someone by saying they weren't adhering to guidelines when they never fucking done it themselves. There's been plenty of other examples of famous people and big celebrities that have gone like that to guidelines. Rita Ora, for one, I know I've moaned about her on here before, but that twat really boils my piss because she didn't break the rules once, she broke them twice, with the most serious one being she went to a country that had a quarantine order when you come back to this country and didn't fucking do it, came straight back and went out. But no one's saying to her, well, let's ban her from TV. Let's not have her on radio anymore. Let's not play her songs on the radio anymore. Let's not have her presenting programs anymore. No one's doing that. So what is the difference? She's in a position of power because she's got influence over people, because people listen to what she says and they look at what she wears and stuff like that. So she influences people. She's got a position of power. Football players at the beginning of the major lockdown in March last year, people like Kyle Walker and the younger players at Man United having parties, having 50, 60 people around their houses when we weren't even allowed to have one-on-one contact. No one's clamouring for them to be sacked as a football player, but they're in a position of power because people watch what they do and they follow them. So if you're a fan of that particular football team and this guy's an idol of yours, you look at what he does and you can people follow and go, well, if he done it and it's okay for him to do it, it's okay for me to do it. So people need to back off a bit and not be so holier than thou about the Matt Hancock situation, because I can look you guys straight in the face and say I have stuck to guidelines as much as I can, but I have broken a few here and there. I've gone out shopping when it wasn't for essential items. I just needed to get out of the house. Other little minor things like when you're only meant to meet up one-on-one, I met up with 2 people rather than 1 person. That's still breaking the guidelines. And no one on here watching this now, and no one that I know, if they looked me straight in the face and said, I have broken no guidelines whatsoever, they're a liar. They've done something along the lines, mainly probably the shopping one, of just nipping out to the shops to get a bit of fresh air and to get a break. Now, I'm not condemning people for doing that. What I'm saying is people have lapses in their concentration, errors of judgment. I'm not making excuses about Hancock, but think about how stressful his job has been, having to manage our way through the pandemic. This was a guy, before we all jump on him and say what an arsehole he is and he's the scum of the earth, this was a guy that felt it was prudent to hold back supplies of vaccine and almost stockpile them. Because now look at the situation we're in now. 83% of the population have had 1 dose and just under 50% of the population have had 2 doses. If we didn't keep hold of them vaccines like he suggested, we'd be fucked at the moment, because there wouldn't be enough vaccine to do people and we would still be under strict lockdown of no meeting of households and stuff like that, because it would be too risky. So before we all say that this guy needs to be killed, and I've seen some stuff online on Twitter, and I've seen people taking to social media where the BBC and ITV and Sky bear-bait people and ask them for their opinions. I've seen people wishing death on the guy. I'm sorry, but that's going too fucking far. The guy had a difficult job. He didn't do it brilliantly, but I don't think you could come on here now and give me a politician or a government from the history that would have managed this pandemic perfectly and not made any errors along the way. Because this whole situation that we've all been through, no one's been through it in their lifetime, no matter how old you are. No one has been through this shit like we have been. So you're going to make errors because you don't know what to do. You can't base it on something else that's already happened. So I do get a bit annoyed with these people that straight away sack him, make him resign. The guy resigned. I don't think he should have done. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he should have resigned. I think you need to keep continuity, bringing someone new in at this stage when it's at that pivotal thing where we want to try and get out of it. He could come in and make a couple of bad decisions and we just go backwards. We've already had this with the 20th or the 21st of June was meant to be Freedom Day. Fucking Freedom Day. It's like we've all been in prison. We haven't been in fucking prison. But now it's kind of 19th of July is kind of fingers crossed that we can unlock a bit more. But if we don't, we don't. If it's not safe to do so, I'm quite happy to go until it is safe to do so. But you've got too many people putting pressure through money. The holiday companies, the travel companies, putting so much pressure on the government to unlock. Not thinking about people's health and well-being, just thinking about their fucking wallets. And we need to stop thinking about fucking money for a minute and think about people. Money is replaceable. You can get money back. If it takes years, you can get that money back. Someone fucking dies, you can't get them back. If someone gets long COVID and they're affected for the rest of their lives, you can't go back and take that back. So we've got to think more about human beings rather than fucking cash. So these holiday companies and these travel companies can fuck off with all this kind of, oh, you have to unlock everything now. No, we don't. Do we really want countries that are rife with coronavirus just, free reign to come into this country and bring it with them? Because don't forget, the reason why we've got this new variant now that's highly transmissible is exactly for that reason. We let too many people come from an infected country and bring it with them. If we start getting all other countries coming over and unlocking everything like the travel companies want, the travel companies only want to do this because they want to fight. They want to basically raise the prices so high and make money. Don't give a shit about if people die. They just want to make money. And that's the sad thing about all of this. Moving on to a more kind of lighter note, Euros. We're through to the last 16. We haven't exactly set the world on fire and set the footballing world on fire. We've kind of tried to go through a route of, hey, we don't want to play anyone that's any good. Well, I'm not being funny. If you want to be the best at something, you beat the best to be the best. As they say, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. To be the best, you've got to beat the best. You don't want to look there and go, well, I don't want to play them, and I don't want to play them, and I don't want to play them. But give me fucking San Marino and Kazakhstan paper boys to play, and then we can turn and go, yeah, champions of Europe. No, we're not. We're not champions of Europe if we haven't beaten anyone that's any good. I know that the draw is the draw and you can't do anything about it, but we shouldn't be looking like we did in the World Cup for the easy way through. If you want to prove you're good at something, be the best. In any other sport, it wouldn't happen. A boxer wouldn't turn around and say, I want to be known as the best in my weight division, and then anyone that's any good, well, I'm not fighting any of them. I don't want to fight any of them. I'll fight some bums instead. But because I've beaten 4 bums, I'm now the best in the world. Well, no, you're not. You haven't beaten the best in the world. So we've got Germany this coming Tuesday. Do I think we'll win? I don't think so. The reason why I'm a bit negative about international football is I've kind of fell out of love with it, to be honest. It started when we put Allardyce in as manager, and I thought, here's a guy that literally steals a living as a shit manager, getting clubs not relegated, never winning anything, never achieved anything. Clubs just don't get relegated with him. Playing boring anti-football, and someone decides, hey, that's the guy that can manage the national team. Thank fuck he'd done something stupid, and after one game they got rid of him. So then I kind of got a little bit excited and thought, you know what? We need to now get someone in with a bit of balls about them, a bit of passion about them. Get these players fired up. If they're not doing well, tell them they're not doing well. And we brought in Gareth Southgate, a man who has won nothing in his managerial career. With Middlesbrough, he got 12th place, 13th place, and then got them fucking relegated. Took over the under-21s, and we went out in the group stages in the under-21s 2015 tournament. Euro tournament, lucked out in the last World Cup, through again, making sure we didn't have to play anyone any good. And then the minute we come up to someone that was half decent, as in Croatia, we fucking lost. We put all our eggs in one basket and said Harry Kane is our saviour. And all the while we were getting penalties here, there and everywhere, and he's banging in penalties, great. The minute we have to score a goal in open play and rely on him, he's nowhere to be fucking seen against Croatia, and we lose. And history is repeating itself here. Yeah, great. We won our group. We scored 2 goals in 3 games. The same player scored both, but the player, again, that Southgate seems to think is our saviour, is absolutely performing awfully. Looks like he's dragging himself around the pitch. He actually looks like he's got no energy and no fire in him at all. He looks knackered. He looks spent. We haven't been given any penalties, so he hasn't had a chance to score some goals. But Southgate is this kind of manager. He has one game plan, and you just stick with it. You don't change your game plan to suit your opponents. You just play the same way against everyone. And that's my worry against Germany. Yes, the Germans aren't the strong side that they have been in previous tournaments, but they're Germany. They're organised. They're an organised machine. We know that a couple of their defenders are getting towards the end of their career. They've slowed right down. So logic would say put fast players in against them to give them grief. He won't do that. He'll stick with the same team. He'll put Harry Kane, who will drag himself around a pitch for possibly an hour or so and do nothing. And it's like we're playing with 10 men at the moment with him because the guy looks like he's got lead legs. We've got young talent that are itching to get on that pitch and do something, and we're leaving them on the bench. We've got young talent that in the various teams they've been playing for around Europe have been assisting and banging in goals for fun, and they can't even get more than 10 minutes on the pitch. However, we've got a striker that looks completely out of form, looks completely knackered, possibly even carrying an injury, and we keep picking him again and again and again, and he does us no favours. Of course, I'd love us to beat the German team. It'd be great to actually beat them in a tournament because the last time we beat them in a major tournament was 1966. Since then, every time we've met them in a tournament, they've knocked us out. It would be great to avoid penalties. It would be great to beat them in 90 minutes by good tactics and taking advantage of their weaknesses. However, I can't see Southgate doing that because he has plan A and that's it. You just keep going with plan A, and if it don't work, you just keep going with it. And I've read that his contract's going to be extended, so he will manage us at the World Cup next year, 2022. And they've also said that it's going to be extended to the next Euros in 2024. So we've got another 5-6 years of this kind of progressing nowhere. We've got talented players, but we've got a guy that doesn't know how to use them. And that's the way I feel at the moment. I'm very down on international football because it's uninspiring. We've got an uninspiring manager that shows no passion at pitch side. You know, when he's interviewed after a game, oh, well, they had a good go, as long as they go out there and enjoy themselves. What he reminds me of is managers managing kids in Little League, that it's all about just going on the pitch and enjoying yourself, and if you win it's a bonus. Not in this, it isn't. Not in the level he's at now. It's all about getting results. It's not about them having a good time when they're on the pitch. And oh, never mind, you got battered 7-0, but there's always another game. No. You should be saying 7-0 ain't good enough. So, of course, I'll be cheering us on Tuesday, but I'm not going to get carried away with this bandwagon of, hey, we've got the advantage of being at home. We've got the advantage of playing easier teams. No, we haven't, because we've had these advantages before and we didn't take advantage of them. Moving in a completely different direction now. Doctor Who. I know not a lot of people are into it. I know it's a kind of a niche thing. It's kind of something you're into or you're not. I've been in watching Doctor Who since I was a kid, you know, Tom Baker, all the way through to like now. I wasn't particularly over enthusiastic of Jodie Whittaker coming in. There were other actors that I felt could have done the job a lot better, but we have to go through with the BBC now a tick box thing that you've got to look and go, well, who hasn't done this before? Right, we've now got a woman that's played it, so we can tick that off and say, yes, we have had a woman play the Doctor. Don't think about the continuity of the programme. Don't think about whether that actor is the right person to play the role. Just do a tick box. Oh, well, it's a woman. We can tick that off now because we've had pressure put on us in the last couple of years. Everything's got to be redressed. So if you remake a film, you've got to kind of say, well, don't make it as it was. You've got to change it. So like with Ghostbusters, oh, we've got to remake it, but they're all women rather than all men and stuff like that. So I kind of give her the benefit of the doubt watching Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker, and it's all right. Tennant was amazing. Matt Smith was brilliant. Capaldi was brilliant. But she's just not, there's just something not right. The dynamic with her and the assistants, it just don't work. You know, oh, let's give young girls a role model. It's not about that. It's about the history of the programme and that they've always brought in established good actors to do this. And then I'm not saying she's a good actor, but she's not the kind of actor that really should have been in a list of potential doctors. And then I read unbelievably that she looks like she's going to be leaving, and they're going to go for a new person to play the Doctor. And I was quite excited. I saw a list of a few actors that I thought, you know what, yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And they're going to go from the guy Ollie, the lead singer from Years and Years. Why? Seriously, why? Why would you look at that guy and go, there's an actor that can play the Doctor? He's done one thing I think of note with acting, which was It's a Sin, but that role he played, you can't say that's the ideal role that he's played there that will transfer well to playing the Doctor. They're two completely different things. Two totally different things. But again, it's the BBC tick box. Oh, now we're going to get someone from another demographic to play it, so that then we can't have those people saying, well, you've never had anyone gay that's played the Doctor. And I just get annoyed with this fact that the BBC, in their effort to try and look right on and PC, do things like this. They, the fans have put lists together of people they'd like to see play the Doctor, and a lot of fans agree on the same people. So look to what the fans want. I'll be honest with you, if this young lad gets it, one, I think he's far too young to play the Doctor, and two, I don't think, from seeing what an amazing job he did do on It's a Sin, and he was remarkable in that, I don't think that's the kind of acting and the kind of character will transfer well to a science fiction program that's been on for over 50 years and has got like a heritage about it. I just don't think he fits the mold. And I really fear that if they do go with this decision, it's going to cancel the program. It's going to literally be the nail in the coffin, because people will switch off because it'd be too much. To be honest, if you're going to put him in, you might as well put Ryland Clark Neal as Doctor Who. You might as well have Alan Carr as Doctor Who, because they're outrageous and they're flamboyant. But you wouldn't put any of them in, because they don't suit it. And I'm not saying the guy isn't a good actor, because It's a Sin, he was remarkable in that, but it's a different step between something that was kind of semi-based on a real thing that happened and science fiction from a long-established program where a certain type of actor has always done well in the role. It's not like this guy's been acting for years and has got plenty of experience. It's a Sin was the first thing he'd ever done. But he's brilliant, but he's not a Doctor. I must admit, I won't just literally just switch off as soon as he starts. I will watch and see how it goes, but I don't think it will be going in the right direction with him. I do think that the guy that they brought in as the lead writer for Doctor Who, when Jodie Whittaker came in, was the wrong guy to bring in and do it, because he's not a Doctor Who fan. He doesn't know the history. So he started rewriting the history of Doctor Who. So everything that's happened before can't have happened, because he's making everything completely different. And I know a lot of you are sitting there and going, I don't give a shit. But to people who watch a program like that, the history of it is what keeps it going. And if you shit all over that and make a joke out of it and do things that you say, well, no, that's impossible, that can't have happened, because back here this happened, you just make a joke of it. It's a kind of a classic thing that happens with long programs that run for a long while, that wrong people come in. Lost was a classic example. It started off really, really well, lost its way a bit. Then they had all problems with writers' strikes in America. Guys came back with other writers and they forgot about everything, things that had happened in the past, went along this story arc, and everyone's going, but what about this? But what about that? You haven't explained this, you haven't explained that. So by the time it got to the end, everyone just kind of went, what the fuck was that all about? The very thing you said it wasn't. When the program first started, people were kind of saying, I think these people in law, I don't think I'm doing any spoilers here. I don't think I'm going to give it away, but everyone's saying, oh, these people are in limbo. They're in the world between being alive and being dead, and that's why they're stuck on this island. It's a form of limbo. And the writers went, no, it's definitely not that. It's definitely not that. And then what happens? We get to the end of Lost, and when new people came in, that's exactly the path they went down. They were stuck in limbo between the life that you are now and the afterlife. They were stuck in the limbo in the middle. And everyone just at the end of it just went, what the fuck was all that about? And I can see that they've done this with Doctor Who in the last couple of seasons, that they've rewrote things and tried to rewrite the whole history of it. And people have gone, I don't get it. I don't get, how can that have happened? How is this person popping up? That's impossible. And I think by going on this direction and bringing this young lad in, I think it's going to take it far too off of track. And it's quite upsetting because something that people have grown up watching from when they're a kid and right up to being an adult could be ended because someone just decides, do you know what, we need to tick a tick box for the next person to play this. The way I see it is, if an actor's good enough, that's all that should count. Not does it fit a demographic. If an actor's good enough to play someone, then they're good enough to play them. I don't think you need to rewrite things to address balances and stuff like that. Very last thing before I go, because I've kept you on here far too long, and you're probably sitting there going, oh my God, this guy's going on and on and on. Can someone answer me one question? What the hell has happened to KFC? It is fucking awful now. I've had 2 recently, and they were horrid. The chicken was horrible. The fries, why they changed the fries from what they were to what they are now with these skin-on fries. They don't cook them long enough. They taste horrible. The chicken's dry. The size the size of the chicken you're getting now is a lot smaller. To me, I think they've cut costs, gone to a different supplier, and the quality that they're getting in is nowhere near the quality they had before. I won't eat it anymore. And I was a massive KFC fan. I loved KFC. But I just think if someone can explain to me, if you know someone who works there, have they changed their recipe? Is there something that's happened that's kind of stopped this going on? Because it is awful now. It's shocking. I'd sooner eat somewhere else. And I was a real big KFC fan. You know, out of all the takeaways, it would be my choice of go-to. Okay then, I'm going to love you and leave you, people. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. If you've got any ideas of things you want me to rant about, go on the YouTube page and make some comments on this video on the YouTube page. I'm going to start doing some slightly different videos soon. I've just got to get the software to work. I'm going to start doing, I don't know if you've ever seen them, reaction videos. So if you suggest something for me to watch, like a comedian to watch or something to watch, and I'll kind of do a reaction video where I'll watch it live, have a little box in the corner with me watching it, kind of say what I think about it. So if you think of any comedians you want me to check out that I might not have heard of, any comedy sketches, anything that you can think of that you want me to watch on YouTube, I'm going to start doing reaction videos on them just as soon as I can get the damn software that I've got to work properly. But other than that, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Stay safe, keep doing what we're doing. We will get to a point where we won't be all walking around looking like fucking highwaymen, and we will be able to have normal nights out and get together normally. But in the meantime, we just need to keep doing what we're doing, and we're doing all right, most of us. The only problem with this pandemic, it has created a hell of a lot of fucking bellends, but there's nothing you can do about that. So, without any further ado, I'm going to love you and leave you, people. Thanks very much. Give the video a like on YouTube. Give me a follow on YouTube if you don't already do it. Hit me up on my Facebook page as well, the Rich T Facebook page, for any ideas of what to rant about going forward. And I will say goodbye, my lovelies.